Genevieve is not really human at all. Even though she was born with human parents and raised by humans, she really is a witch. Her great-grandfather, Arthur, is really amorous, Merlin, the greatest wizard of all time himself. His powers was passed down to Genevieve. She's a brunette with a tomboy style and a very stubborn as her head. Her family, except for her aunt and her great-grandfather and her cousin Alice Kingsley, wants her to act like a proper, dumb, stupid, and not think for herself lady like the ladies of the Victorian times. She hates wearing stuffy dresses and rather wear a breezy dress or boy clothes. She's always daydreaming and imagining about magic and the other world. Since she was a 3-year-old, she called her great-grandfather Merlin without realizing years later that is who he really is. She is the one that bought and fought in the battle that is known as the end of the Unseelie Court and the Wild Hunt. She's 19 years old and hates being told she has to marry a wealthy lord. She was brought to Fairyland by Wintertime the Unicorn, who brought her to an elf king called Lindor, who is a very close friend of Merlin. She was then taken to King Oberon and Queen Titania. There she learned and formed a plan to gather the rest of the Seelie Court members and other realm members and battle the Unseelie Wild Hunt. She was trained in fighting by Kendra and is a very quick learner. She was also taught how to control her magic by the witch Sailor. Not only that, but she also has a horse that only she can ride. His name is Shadow, and he is half normal horse, half Kelpie. He was abused and tortured by the Wild Hunt. More info in Who's Who of Fairyland, Meet Shadow. He and Genevieve are very close, just like Kendra and Stella. Genevieve has a massive necklace that Merlin made that he gave her when she was 8 years old. After the battle, she gained her true otherworld form and also has a mermaid form as well. She uses her magic to put a glamour on herself to hide her true forms. Genevieve's family is very large and she's normally butting heads with nearly every member except for her aunt and her great-grandfather. Her great-grandparents are, as mentioned, Arthur, who is really Merlin, and his late wife, Era. They have a son, Genevieve's grandfather, who is named Wallace. He married a witch lady called Prudence, her grandmother, who is a very proper Victorian lady. They have 2 daughters, Genevieve's mother, who they named Oceana, and her aunt, who they called Bonnie. Bonnie married a country boy who lives in a forest near the Dales, where the family lives in the spring and summer before returning to the mansion where they live in autumn and winter. Only Merlin lives in the house but in the spring and summer Dales. There he can concentrate on his magic and his studies of the other world in peace. Bonnie lives in a beautiful cottage in the woods with her husband Juniper. They have 2 boys, 10-year-old Kit and 7-year-old Milo. Oceana is married to her lord, who is called Demetrius, her father. She has 2 older sisters and 4 brothers, 2 younger than her. Her 2 older sisters are Clementine, 20, who is engaged to Lord Caspian. Her other sister is Belladonna, 24, who is married to Lord Caspar and is 7 months a child. Her 2 older brothers, 27-year-old Zealand, who is married to Lady Victoria and has a 2-year-old daughter, Heidi, and another child on the way. And 30-year-old Jarvis, who is about to marry in 2 weeks' time, Lady Rosemary. Her 15-year-old brothers, Alistair, and 12-year-old Hagen. She has no interest in any of the snobby lords her family is trying to make her marry. She instead falls in love with elf that is a scout of one of the elven kingdoms, Mistfalls. His name's Balmy. Genevieve has a fiery spirit and loyal heart. She sees Kendra as the mother she wished she had. She's normally seen in a light, breezy dresses that are easy to move in and wears a suit of armor that the elves made for the battle. This fiery brunette with a stubborn side that loves to think for herself and does what she does and doesn't care what her family tries to make her do, and hates being told how to act and how girls are stupid, dumb, and it's not their place to read and learn, but stupidly useless that only have a husband's kids, keep house and bake thing he says back in the Victorian days. She has a free spirit like Merlin and would rather come out the window and get away from the family than join in. So, if you see a stubborn free spirit to yell about the place, it's Genevieve, and she'll always be your friend.